All right, let's talk about AI, but not the science fiction stuff. We're going to dive into the AI that's already here, the invisible engine that's completely changing the movies you watch, the music you listen to, and for sure, the games you play.
For the longest time, when we thought about AI and entertainment, we pictured an opponent, right? Like the ghosts in Pac-Man or some final boss in a video game. Well, that's old news. The real revolution happening right now is a total shift in how we even think about it. AI is no longer just something to beat, it's becoming a tool we create with. It's a collaborator, an actual partner in the artistic process.
And this isn't some small niche thing happening in a corner of the industry. The AI market in media and entertainment is already worth a massive $24 billion. But here's the crazy part. It's expected to grow by over 26% every single year. This isn't just growth, it's an explosion. So where do you actually feel this impact first? Well, let's start with the AI you're probably interacting with every single day, maybe without even realizing it, that hidden engine running behind all your streaming services. Okay, get ready for this number, because it's a big one. A full 80%, 80 of all the shows and movies watched on Netflix are picked because the platform's AI recommended them. That's right, 4 out of every 5 hours you spend binging, that decision was guided by an algorithm. And just think about the sheer scale of this operation. Netflix has to come up with totally unique recommendations for over 260 million different people, and it has to do it in less than a tenth of a second. We're talking blink of an eye speed. To pull that off, you need huge clusters of GPUs running non-stop 24/7, all just to figure out what you might want to watch next. It's the engine that literally drives the binge watch. So how in the world does it work? Well, one of the main tricks is something called collaborative filtering. To put it simply, the AI scours millions of user profiles to find a group of people who have tastes just like you. Then it looks for a movie that they all went crazy for, but that you haven't seen yet. And boom, there's your next recommendation. It's the magic behind Netflix, and also why Spotify's Discover Weekly can sometimes feel like it's reading your mind. Okay, so AI is great at recommending stuff, but what about actually making it? This is where we get into the world of generative AI, and it's a place where production timelines are being crushed from months and weeks down to just minutes. Let's take the Oscar-winning movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. There were visual effects in that film that traditionally would have taken artists weeks of incredibly detailed manual work. With AI, they were done in a few hours. This doesn't just save time, it slashes costs by 50 to 80%. That means suddenly, indie films can have ambitious, blockbuster-level effects. It completely changes what's possible. But maybe the most incredible story is how we got a new Beatles song. An AI tool, which was first built just to clean up old audio for a documentary, was able to do something amazing. It took a noisy, low-quality demo tape John Lennon made back in the 70s and perfectly isolated his voice from the piano. It was so clean that the rest of the band could finally finish the song. It's like AI as musical archaeologist, digging up a lost treasure. AI is also just tearing down language barriers. You've got companies like Spotify using AI to clone a podcast host's voice, so they can release new episodes in a bunch of different languages all at the same time. A process that used to take months of hiring and coordinating with dozens of voice actors can now be done in a few hours. It's opening up content to the entire world instantly. Now, if you think that's impressive, all of this real-time content generation is being pushed to its absolute limit in the one industry that's probably the single biggest driver of AI and hardware demand: gaming. We are right on the edge of a cognitive revolution, and it's starting with the characters inside these massive virtual worlds. Just look at how far we've come. We started with the super simple, predictable patterns of Pac-Man's ghosts. Now, the next giant leap is here, game characters powered by large language models. Yeah, the same kind of mind-bending AI that runs things like ChatGPT. So what does this actually feel like for you, the player? Imagine talking to a character in a game who actually remembers you. They remember what you talked about last time, they react to the story as it unfolds around you, leading to completely unscripted, natural conversations. It means your journey through the game can be genuinely, truly unique. But a leap like this, it demands a whole new level of power. I mean, modern games are already pushing our hardware to the absolute brink, with tech like ray tracing. That's what simulates how every single beam of light bounces around a scene to create those jaw-dropping graphics. Then they use other AIs like DLSS just to keep the game running smoothly. Now, on top of all that, imagine giving every single character in the world their own complex AI brain. The demand for raw computing power just goes through the roof.
And if you're a gamer, this is probably why you feel like your brand new, expensive graphics card is kind of obsolete almost as soon as you buy it. To run the latest games on engines like Unreal Engine 5, you really need the newest, most powerful hardware. That old upgrade cycle of maybe 4 or 5 years? Yeah, that's shrunk down to more like 2 or 3 years now.
Okay, so we've got this insane demand for new hardware. And where there's that much demand, you can bet there's a huge business opportunity. So let's pull back the curtain a little and look at the strategies shaping this whole market.
One of the clearest trends is the big move to the cloud. Just look at NVIDIA's cloud gaming service, GeForce Now. We're not talking about a small number of users here. They have over 25 million registered people. That's a massive group of consumers who've basically decided, hey, instead of buying my own powerful hardware, I'm just going to rent it from a data center.
And according to our sources, this isn't an accident. There's a very deliberate business strategy at play. It starts by controlling the supply of critical parts, like high-performance memory. This creates a shortage, which makes the most powerful consumer GPUs really hard to find and way more expensive. And what happens then? Well, that cloud gaming alternative, GeForce Now, starts to look a lot more attractive. It's a strategy to shift customers away from buying a piece of hardware one time to a much more profitable, recurring subscription payment every month. Of course, with all this new tech flying around so fast, everyone is scrambling to write a new rulebook. You've got the US Copyright Office saying that if something is made purely by AI, you can't copyright it. Gaming platforms like Steam are now telling developers, hey, you have to tell us if you used AI, and you better prove you had the rights to the data you trained it on. And actors just fought for and won protections about getting consent and getting paid if a company wants to use an AI clone of their voice. The rules of the game are being written as we speak. So let's tie all of this together and look at what it means for the future, because the entire way AI works is shifting right under our feet. Okay, this is a really crucial idea to get your head around. The difference between training and inference. Think of it like this. Training is like sending the AI to school. It's a huge, intense process where it learns everything, but it mostly just happens once. Inference, on the other hand, is the AI actually showing up to work every single day, doing its job, recommending that movie, having that conversation with you in a game. And by 2026, inference is going to be 2/3 of all AI computing. It's the constant 24/7 job of the future. There's a line from our source that just nails this whole dynamic perfectly. Gaming sells GPUs, AI keeps them busy. Gamers, we're the ones who rush out to buy the latest and greatest graphics cards to play the newest titles with all the bells and whistles. That first big purchase is driven by gaming, but it's all those AI inference tasks running constantly in the background that keep all those GPUs, both the one in your house and the millions in the cloud, busy all the time.
So, what does all this tech and business strategy actually mean for you? Well, first, realize that as a consumer, you are now in direct competition with giant data centers for the exact same technology. Second, expect those hardware upgrade cycles to stay short. Third, cloud gaming isn't a gimmick anymore. It's a real primary option. And finally, get ready, because your entertainment is about to get a whole lot smarter, more personalized, and way more interactive than you've ever imagined.
Which leaves us with one last big question to chew on. As we go deeper and deeper into this new world and AI shifts from being just a tool to a real collaborator in the creative process, when AI is the co-creator, who really gets to be called the author?